Right, so welcome to a new guide on this channel, and on this occasion is the NEOLD WARBLE. Now, everything on this guide is in chapters, so if you look at the description or the timeline, you can jump to a section or skip the ones you don't want. Now, if you like this guide, like and subscribe, and if you have the money and you want to buy me a coffee, you can. Everything is on the description. Right, so this is essentially a vintage tape simulation unit. It can give you saturation, it can give you noise floor, flutter, wow, the modulation, just like any other tape plugin. Right, so let's start simple. As soon as you throw an instance of this plugin on your tracks, and if you go to reset, I'm always going to go back to, the default patch, it's going to give you something. You can see it right there on the spectrum. It's going to give you some curves. So by default, it's doing something. Now, in terms of harmonic distortion, it's doing something as well, not much, but it's just doing it. So you need to know that as soon as you throw it in your track, it's going to start processing. Right, so we need to start right here. The central part is the H, the dirt, and the noise. So since this is a tape unit, you get the new type of tape and the old type of tape. Now, the new is going to be more hi-fi. So you don't get a lot of harmonic distortion. You get some, of course, but it's going to be on the low side of harmonic distortion. Now, if you go towards the old side, it's going to sound darker, but you get a lot more harmonic distortion. And I'm going to prove this. I'm going to show you. I'm going to play a track, and I'm going to go all the way down on the H, right? Now, as soon as I go up on the H, the spectrum is going to start to change, and the sound, of course, is going to start to change. And it's going to sound darker. And as you get to the old, it's going to sound boomy. Right? So that's how it works. Now, in terms of harmonics, as you go again towards the old, you get more harmonics. There you go. You can see them going up and up, and as soon as you get it, it goes up right here. Right. So this is essentially how it works. So now, of course, you're not going to go all the way in maybe right here unless you're maybe processing a single track, not maybe a whole track like I'm doing right now. But yeah, towards the left, it's going to be new, hi-fi, and old is going to be darker. So I'm going to go back to reset, and we need to talk about the dirt. Now, dirt is going to be harmonic distortion, how much you're going to be adding, and I'm going to be playing the track. And you're going to see that you're already doing something like 30%, something like that, and we are just on the default patch. So if I go down, we get less, we get nothing. And if I go to the harmonic analysis, we get less. Now, as soon as I go up and start going up, you're just going to be driving it as hell. And we're going to get, ready to hear this. Now, if you go really aggressive and maybe select, maybe go towards the old, this is how it's going to get. Now, right at the bottom, if it's too aggressive, you can make a blend with the mix knob, right? Just make a blend. Right. So that's what the dirt is going to do. It's going to give you the more harmonic distortion, and of course, how it looks right here is just pretty obvious. It's gonna be like that, right? But that's fine. It's about how it sounds, not how it looks. But that's it. The dirt and the age are essentially the main soul of this. Now, some of these sections, everything that we do right here is going to change when we change between fast and slow. And notice that this is affecting the sound and the overall sound, and it's going to affect the noise as well. Now, the noise is just going to be the tape noise. If I go up on this one, we start seeing this, but maybe not hear it. If I go really up, we get it. We get that tape noise. Now, right here on the fast, we are on the fast side. I'm going to go to slow tape. This is going to be slow, so it's going to affect it. Now, sounds way different. Same thing with this. As soon as I maybe just go here, just going to affect everything that we do. Right. So just like, again, any tape unit, you get your tape type, you get your saturation, your harmonic distortion, and you get the noise. Now, then you have the other side of things, which is going to be the high cut and the low cut. Now, since this can get really bright and really aggressive on the low side and on the high side, we can cut and we have a resonance as well. Right, so I'm going to be playing. And I'm going to go to reset. Start in the default patch. Right, same sound. I'm going to go right here. So it's going to be really boomy. So right here we have a low cut. Now what we can do, maybe stand right there. When I go up, we're going to start cutting the lows. So it's a low cut. Now, a thing that you need to be aware is that when you are cutting, this filter has a resonance, and you're already doing something on the resonance. So going down on this one is going to remove that, peak you have on the resonance, on the low cut. If I go up, it's going to be a little bit more aggressive. By control and click, it's going to go back to default, aggressive, and then default. But again, if you just get maybe really boomy, you just can start cutting and then just smoothing this out. Same thing if you go to the other side. If I go right here to the dirt, I'm gonna go there, we can cut the highs. And since we have this resonance, we can go down on that one and bring it down, or we can just make it a little bit more obvious. Right. Now, one more thing. So when you start the plugin, as soon as you throw it and I go to reset, you are doing something right here. We already know this in terms of everything else, but in terms of the high cut and the low cut, you are doing something in terms of resonance. So by going down on this one is going to flatten a little bit of what it does by default when you go to a default patch. Okay, so we covered the main soul and the filters. Now we need to talk about the wow and the flutter. So on the tape domain, that realm, we have this too, wow and flutter. Now they are related, they're similar, but they sound different. And I'm just gonna show you on a very visual way. So first we're gonna talk about the wow. So the wow, this is whoa is an LFO. And what we do, we modulate the pitch. Now, instead of playing a whole track, because it's just going to be a little bit, maybe we are not going to be able to hear what it does very clearly. I'm going to bring a synthesizer, and I'm just going to play it right now. I'm going to play one key, and it's a very dull synthesizer. So we can see right here the harmonics, right? That's why I'm doing this. So the wow or whoa is going to modulate the pitch as an LFO. So I'm going to play a key, I'm going to go up, and we can see that here it starts moving from left to right. This means that we are doing pitch modulation. And this works just like an LFO. Just going to go up and down in pitch, but it's very short. And as we go really aggressive, the depth is just going to go, much more. Now I'm playing one key, but if I do a chord, it's going to give you that sound. So right here at the top, you have this, the rate control. So you can go slower. Now we're going to play one key. You can go slower, or you can go faster, and it's going to go really fast. Now, this is what you do with this control. And like I told before, this is an LFO, right? You modulate the pitch up and down, but it's very predictable, right? It's just going up and down. It doesn't seem like it's random. It's just going up and down. Pretty, sure, like an LFO. So this is like the main difference with the Flutter. This one is very inconsistent, and it's also going faster. You have a trim pot right here to adjust the rate, just like we have on the wow. Now if I play a key and I do the same thing, you're gonna see the difference and hear the difference. I'm gonna go up on the Flutter, and as that moves, it's really different. And as I keep going up, it's gonna go more aggressive. And aggressive, at some point, it's gonna sound like a sound effects. Now right here we can modulate with the trim pot. We can just go slower, but no, it's like glitching. So this is the main difference between this and this. This is consistent, this is inconsistent. It's super short. Now we can go faster, and we enter into the modulation type of territory. Right, and that is the difference. I'm gonna go and do the other one. Right? So very different, very different. And we can make a combination of them both by doing something like that, maybe something like that. And if I play a chord, something that makes more sense, not a single key, it's gonna sound, gonna give you that vintage sound. Even bring a little bit of noise. Now if I turn it off, it sounds very dull. Movement. And if I add a reverb, why not? Now I'm going to turn it off and do the same thing. Really different, right? So yeah, this is it's the modulation section, and it's gonna give you that tape, pitch detuning vibe. Right, so I'm gonna go back to reset, and remember, we have at the bottom the mix control. So whatever it is that you're doing right here, you can make a blend of this, and of course adjust the levels. Now, then we have the start and the stop. If I play something and do something, and I'm using the reverb, just because it's good, it sounds good. I'm gonna do stop. And what this does is going to just turn off the plugin. It's the only thing that it does. Now, I'm going to go maybe down on the Flutter and go up on the wow so we can just hear the movement. And now it's going fast. Now, when we go slow, now the tape is going to be slower. So everything that we are doing right here in terms of time is going to be affected. So we are just doubling down. But it's just way different. And it also, remember, it affects the noise, the age, and the dirt. Right, so that's it. It's a pretty simple plugin, but it gives you, very quickly, this old vintage lo-fi tape type of sound. So if you like this and you learned something new, remember to like and subscribe. And if you have the money and you want to buy me a coffee, you can go to the links at the description. You have PayPal, you have Patreon, and you have the YouTube. Thanks. See you on the next one.